in which we are going to explore the most important frameworks which you need to know moving forward into this course and also where to use them. Now, before I get started, I want to talk about this particular thing that you remember this prompt, which I called as a reusable prompt. Yes, this in itself is a framework, but this is not an advanced framework, which we are going to see now. And also, in the previous lecture, we talked about prompt priming and also cleaning data with prompts. Now, people could make an argument that these are also frameworks like prompt priming and cleaning data with prompts. They are also frameworks, but I just took them as mere concepts because yes, feeding a lot of context to ChatGPT and then telling that yes, I'm going to send the prompt in later, I do not consider it to be a framework. And also cleaning data with prompts, we all know that we can do that. So I just introduced them as concepts. But what we are going to see today, they are the real frameworks and they are really important. And also, one more thing that you need to keep in mind that this might be more of a theoretical lecture. We are going to explore a lot of frameworks, some of which we are going to see practically. Like we are going to plug in a prompt to ChatGPT for some, but some of the frameworks we are just going to explore theoretically. So yeah, just keep that in mind. And without any further ado, let's just jump into it. So here we are, the first framework, which is prompt chaining. So this framework breaks a task into smaller steps. So just consider a big problem and we are just gonna break it into smaller problems. And this particular framework uses the output from first prompt as the input for the next. So we are gonna use a real world scenario and we are gonna use that for most of our frameworks. So just keep that in mind that this is a hypothetical scenario in which we are creating a product for home workout equipments. So yes, this is the pattern that we are going to follow for most of this lecture and most of our prompts will be revolving around that only. So for our product launch, which is basically a smart home workout equipment, we can start by asking ChatGPT to summarize key steps, then build on that with more detailed tasks like creating a timeline for our product launch and then writing marketing strategies for the same. This framework gives us more control over each piece of a task. And let's see this for ourselves. Let's plug in prompts for ChatGPT and let's build on them using prompt chaining. So here I am on my ChatGPT and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to open a new chat and I'm going to plug in the prompt which I had already created. So firstly, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with asking it to summarize the key steps involved in a product launch campaign. And if I press enter, let's see what ChatGPT gives us. So it is telling me that there is research and planning, there is positioning and messaging, there is a go-to-market strategy, of course, GTM strategy. Then there's content and asset creation, pre-launch activities, launch execution, post-launch engagement, and analysis and optimization. All right, so these are the key steps of a product launch. Now we have got this. Let's plug in our real prompt, which we are going to chain now. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask ChatGPT to tell me based on this summary which it has given us to create a campaign timeline for launching smart home workout equipments, which was our initial plan. So you see, I asked it to tell me how we can have a product launch, and now I'm actually giving it what I want it for. So let's run it and let's see what answer I'm getting. So here's campaign timeline for launching smart home equipment. So research and planning, it takes 1 to 2 weeks, and positioning and strategy, which takes so it is also giving me 2 weeks. So this is what I'm supposed to do in the starting 2 weeks, then the next 2 weeks, so week 4 and 6, week 6 and 8, and it's gonna take me around 13 weeks. So it's gonna take me around 13 weeks to have a proper launch. So now let's build on it, and we already know that this is the timeline, and now ask it for some marketing strategies. So here I am, and what I am doing is I'm just asking it to write a marketing strategy for promoting the product launch through social media channels. So this is what it's going to do for me. There's a marketing strategy. So social media marketing strategy, smart home workout equipments. This is the objective: create brand awareness before launching, drive pre-orders and early signups. Okay, build a fitness community around the product. And okay, so the first thing that I'm seeing is creating brand awareness before launch. So the thing is that if I feed it more context, it can create the campaign for me itself. And let's see more. So target audience. So primary is busy professionals. Secondary is fitness enthusiasts and geography, urban India, tier 1 to 2 cities with higher disposable income. Of course, because these are the people who do not have time and they would really love some smart home workout equipments. Platform strategy, it is giving me Instagram and Facebook, lifestyle storytelling, influencer collabs, of course, reels. Then there's YouTube, long form demos, and there's LinkedIn, thought leadership, fitness tech innovation, and all of that. TikTok and reels, well, TikTok is not applicable, so it is saying if applicable, but yes, we can definitely go on reels. So fun trend based fitness hacks using the product. Now we have content pillars and campaign phases. So it has also created phases for me. So there's pre-launch, which is week 1 to 6, where I make teaser videos. I make a waitlist sign up campaign via Instagram and YouTube. And then there's launch live stream product reveal event on YouTube and Instagram. And then there's post launch, which is basically share customer stories and run social media challenges and all of that. So yes, it's really nice. And we also have suggestions for paid media strategies. We have also got KPIs that we need to track. So KPI basically means key performance indicators. So yes, it has created all of this for me. So you see what I'm doing? I'm using this framework of prompt chaining. From the previous output, I'm giving in an input and it is building upon that. So yes, it's really nice. And now let's give in the last prompt, which is basically write a final product launch announcement that includes the timeline and marketing strategy. So let's see what ChatGPT creates for us. And it is basically summarization of everything that it has given to me previously in this particular chat. So let's see what we get. So here's a polished final product launch announcement that integrates the timeline and marketing strategies as well. So official product launch announcement, smart home workout equipments. So this is the launch timeline. And this is basically 13 weeks, around 3 months. And let's see, more than 3 months actually. Sorry for my mistake. But yeah, now here we have the marketing strategies, platform focus, paid medias, KPIs, and all of that. With this roadmap, we are set to build excitement, drive pre-orders, and establish a strong community of fitness enthusiasts who want the smartest way to work out at home. So yes, it is really nice. It can also write me a press release format and also customer facing announcement post. So yes, that's really nice. This is the basic idea of prompt chaining. Now you could use it for your own use. But you see, there's one major problem with this kind of prompting. It takes a lot of time. And sometimes we might not get coherent answers because, the output might be different from the input that we are giving. And it is really time consuming. And also, you need to put in a lot of efforts. So you know what? I can use another prompting method. So here we are. This is also another prompting method and it's called chain of thought reasoning. So this approach basically involves asking AI to think through a task step by step. So instead of giving it tasks with each prompt, we can just ask it to think step by step, making sure each part is well reasoned. And when we ask ChatGPT to explain why each element is important, the process becomes clearer and more logical. And we can use this method to understand the key components of our product launch and why they matter, leading to a well reasoned and comprehensive plan. So instead of giving a lot of prompts, we can just give one prompt in which we ask ChatGPT to have a chain of thought. And you know what? Let's see this in practice. So here I am on my ChatGPT and I'm going to open a new chat. And here I'm going to plug in this particular prompt, which is write a product launch plan for a new line of smart home workout equipments using chain of thought. So, well, I have typed chain twice. So let's remove that. So yeah, using chain of thought, start by outlining key components of a launch plan, then explain why each component is essential, and finally providing examples of best practices. And now let's see what ChatGPT answers us. So here I am. I have given the prompt and it is going to think longer for a better answer. So you see, initially for product launch plan, it was pretty easy. It was pretty straightforward. I was just giving it smaller prompts and it was answering us really fast. But now it's actually going to think for a better answer and now it's not loading. So I'm just going to go back to my product launch and here it has thought for 18 seconds. Got it, Kunal. Here's a crisp classroom ready launch plan you can hand to a team or use as a teaching template. Okay. So objectives and success metrics. So define SMART goals. So business, product, and marketing. So I see that it is using the what and why, which is basically the Simon Sinek Golden Circle framework. And I believe it is because I have turned on the memory. So you know what? Let me turn that off and try to run this prompt again because I don't want it to be referencing the previous conversations. So here I'll go to my settings, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to personalization, reference saved memories, and reference chat history. I'm just going to turn both of them off, and let's try to run it again. Let's just delete this. And so I'm already on a new chart. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to paste in the whole thing. So write a product launch plan for a new line of smart home workout equipments, and using chain of thoughts, let's remove that chain again because I have copy pasted the wrong thing. And let's run it again. Let's see what ChatGPT gives to us. So thinking longer for a better answer, of course. And let's give it its sweet time because it's going to think for a long time. So outlining the go-to-market strategies, outlining a launch plan. Okay, so it thought for solid 29 seconds. And quick note upfront, I can't share my private chain of thought. All right, that's completely fine. But at least you're going to give me the right answer. You have thought for a longer time. But yes, however, I can read and will give you a complete, transparent, step-by-step reasoning summary and a full explainable product launch plan that shows the same logical steps you would see in a chain of thought. All right, just in a clean, shareable format, which is exactly what I want. So, firstly, it's going to show me short reasoning summary, then key components outline, and then it's going to give me for each component why it matters, concrete best practices, examples that I can copy for a new smart home workout equipment. All right. So, quick reasoning summary. Validate product market fit early to avoid expensive hardware mistakes. All right, makes sense. Build an integrated hardware software experience. All right, because the product's value is bundled, reduce launch risk with staged rollouts. All right, so it wants staged rollouts. Pilot manufacturing and strong quality analysis. Oh, sorry, quality assurance. Drive initial demand with a pre-launch program. So there should be beta testers, there should be influencers, there should be a proper PR, and there should be pre-orders too. So you amortize fixed launch costs. All right. So these are the key components that I need to have for my launch plan. So market research and target personas. There is product definition and roadmap, and a lot of more things. So channel strategy and partnerships. So D2C, retail, if it's B2B as well, marketing and demand generation, pre-launch, launch, post, and all of that. So yeah, all the important things that I need to keep in mind: measurements, KPIs, and analytics, and all of that. And now it has told me why it's essential. Why all the things that I mentioned are essential. So there's market research and target personas, why it is important. So prevents building features. Nobody needs and defines which channels messages will convert. All right. So product definition, hardware, software complexity makes scope control critical, and safety, regulatory, and data privacy compliance, which is actually really important. So yes, it is giving me a really thought out answer. So why is it essential? Why safety, regulatory, and data privacy compliance is important? Because we all know that we collect sensitive health data if we are introducing anything smart. And we need to assure our consumers that none of their data will be used for anything which is not good for them. So yes, compliance prevents recalls, fines, and reputational damage. All right, really important. Manufacturing, supply chain, and quality control, really important. Software integrations, the device is only as valuable as connected experience. Software bugs spoil product perception instantly. All right, makes sense. So yes, it has given me a really comprehensive outline, and that is what exactly I expected when I said the chain of thought reasoning. So yes, instead of sending a lot of prompts, I just asked it in one specific prompt everything that I wanted to know, and it has given me everything. And that's really nice. So, this is such a nice thing about these reasoning kind of frameworks. First, we are actually working with chain of thought reasoning, and also the next framework, which we are going to see, tree of thought reasoning. They are actually so nice because these models pause before responding. They take their time to think logically and structure their output. So this is basically resulting in a well-reasoned, higher quality response, even when the prompt is just one and very simple. We gave a really simple response, but you see, we have got such a nice response. So let's actually check the tree of thought reasoning model as well. So tree of thought reasoning. In this particular reasoning framework, multiple ideas are explored before settling on the best option. It's perfect for tasks that require creative exploration and evaluating various possibilities. And in our scenario, we can use this to brainstorm different strategies for our launch, giving us a range of ideas to refine before choosing the most suitable one. So, you know what? Let's just jump into it and let's check this particular framework as well. So, again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to open a new chart, and here I'm going to plug in this particular prompt, which is write a product launch plan for a new line of smart home workout equipments. Using tree of thought reasoning, brainstorm several key strategies for the product launch. So we are giving it some examples. So we can have influencer marketing, outbound marketing, paid ads, content marketing, etc. And then evaluate which strategy would be the best for a small business launching its first product. Again, I don't have a company, and all of this is hypothetical situation, but again, let's consider it's a small business and we are launching our first product, and which strategy would be the best moving into this particular kind of business. So let's see. Let's enter and let's see what answer ChatGPT gives to us. And it's going to think longer for a better prompt, of course, because again, we are using a reasoning model. So it has thought for a solid 48 seconds, but I hope I have got the answer properly. So quick note before we start, again, it will not reveal its raw internal chain of thought, but it will give a clear structured tree of thought style summary, which is exactly I want. So I really do not care about whatever this quick note is. But yeah, let's see. Executive summary for a small business launching its first line of smart home workout equipment. The highest impact approach is combination led by micro influencer product seeding. Okay. So it has given me actually a really nice answer. It hasn't actually gone into just one particular segment, but it is suggesting me to just, mix everything. So yes, a lightweight affiliate referral program, targeted paid ads. It is just sending me a mix of that. So yeah, tree style brainstorming. It is going to tell me what exactly it has done. So these are the branches, and it will also give short notes along with that. So yeah, these are the lists. So micro influencer marketing. So product seeding and UGC. So identify 20 to 100 niche micro and nano influencers. Okay, so small influencers. Then the next thing is video first content marketing. So these are all the branches. This is how it has thought like. So one branch is micro influencer marketing. The second one is video first content marketing. And then there's paid advertising, PR and earned media. And this is what it is telling me. And it is also telling me the pros and cons of each. So this particular thing, paid advertising, pros are fast scale and precise measurement. Retargeting lifts conversions, and there are cons. So it can be costly if creative or targeting is poor. All right, makes sense. PR and earned media, cons unpredictable, slower to convert. All right, makes sense. Partnerships and demos. So here it has given me quick evidence backed claims. All right. So influencer marketing continues to deliver strong ROI, so which is basically return on investment, and industry estimates up to $5.78 earned per $1 spent. All right. So if you spend around 85 rupees, you are earning around 400 rupees. So yes, that's a good profit. And many marketers are increasing spend. All right. Micro and nano influencers have higher engagement and are widely used. All right, makes sense. Video first content is central to product discovery and will dominate traffic. Okay, makes a lot of sense. Let's actually go here. So there's an evaluation matrix as well. So cost is 4, speed is 4, credibility is 4, scalability is 3, and measurability is 4. So it has, given each of them a proper point, and the one with the highest point is what I should go with. And that's really nice. Interpretation. Referral affiliate scores highest in an ideal post-launch scenario because it's pay for performance. For a first-time product, a hybrid lead with micro-influencer plus video content plus paid retargeting gives the best balance of speed, trust, and measurable ROI. So yes, that's really great. I have got a really good response, and it is actually a very lengthy response. I don't even want to read the whole thing, but you see, just with a single prompt, I have got such a nice answer. And I believe it is really nice because I was already on board with it when I saw this particular thing, that highest impact approach is combination led by micro influencer, all of that. So yes, I'm very impressed with this answer. And this is such a nice framework because with just a single normal prompt, I have got such a nice answer. And that's the power of these particular reasoning frameworks. And they are really nice. But let's actually see another framework as well. Let's dive into the next one. So the next prompting framework, which we are only going to see theoretically, is called ask before answering. And rather than being a framework, it is more of like a concept. So with ask before answering, ChatGPT asks clarifying questions before giving a response. All right. For example, before responding, ask me any clarifying questions about the target market, the product features, or any specific launch goals to better understand what I want. This is what I tell ChatGPT along with giving it the basic prompt that yes, I am launching this product, a smart home workout equipment line. And if you want more details, just ask it from me. This is something that will ensure that the AI is fully understanding the context that's relevant for the instructions provided, and it will help me make final plan more relevant and tailored to the business needs. So yes, this is something that you can try by yourself, and it's very simple. Just tell it something, like about launching a product or about just your work, and tell the chat GPT to ask any relevant questions that it might need before giving a proper response. So yes, this is a framework, or you can consider this to be a concept as well. And let's move to the next one, which is called self-critique prompting. So yes, this is another framework that we are going to just have an overview of theoretically. And don't worry, we are going to see all of these frameworks in much more detail in a later section. So yes, don't worry if you are, seeing this and you are thinking that we are not actually working on it. Don't worry, we are going to do that. But let's actually first understand these things, because what I'm teaching right now in this section, these are just the building blocks. All right. This is not anything that you need to cram up. We are going to see them practically later, of course. So don't worry. And let's see what is self-critique prompting. And basically, in this particular method, the AI model critiques its own work after generating an output, making improvements for clarity, structure, and relevance. So let's take an example as well with our own, smart home work equipment product launch. So what we will tell ChatGPT is basically write a product launch plan for smart home workout equipments, then critique the plans for clarity, structure, relevance, and suggest improvements for itself. And for our product launch plan, we can ask AI to write a draft and then critique it for clarity, structure, and relevance. This is a great way to get a polished and high quality result before finalizing it. And also, we don't have to do much work because ChatGPT in itself is gonna critique its own work and suggest improvements. So yes, it is a really nice prompting framework which you can use for a lot of things. And now let's move to the next one. All right. So here we have decision matrix generation, and it is kind of similar to tree of thought, but let's see how it is different as well. So a decision matrix helps compare multiple options across different criteria. In tree of thought, we were actually just giving it one idea and then it was creating a lot of ideas from it. But in decision matrix, we are giving a lot of options, and from that, the chat GPT will suggest us the best one. So for example, create a decision matrix comparing three marketing strategies. So social media, email campaigns, and influencer partnerships for a smart home workout equipment product launch. Compare them based on cost, reach, and potential ROI. It can be valuable in our use case in order to evaluate different marketing strategies, comparing factors like cost, reach, potential ROI. And this framework provides a visual comparison, helping users make a more informed decision based on multiple factors. So yes, decision matrix, pretty similar to tree of thought, but it is also somewhat different. So you know what? Let's just plug in the prompt in ChatGPT and let's see how the answer differs here. So let's go back to ChatGPT. And here we are. So I'm just going to create a new chat and I'm going to plug in this particular prompt, which is create a decision matrix comparing three marketing strategies, social media, email campaigns, and influencer partnerships for a smart home workout equipment product launch. Compare them based on cost, reach, and potential ROI. Exactly what we had in our example. And let's run it. Let's see what is happening. Now, remember that ChatGPT doesn't remember anything that happened in the previous chat. But let's see what is happening here. So here's decision matrix comparing three marketing strategies for our smart home workout equipment product launch. So you see, in the previous, if I go back here, so there are two product launch, I believe, and this is the tree of thought. It's going to take some time to load because it is a very lengthy, output. So let's wait for it. So here we are. So what I did in this particular prompt was I asked it to have a tree of thought reasoning, and I asked it to brainstorm several key strategies for a product launch. I also gave an etc. I let ChatGPT be as creative as it wanted to be. But here, you see, in a decision matrix, I'm just giving it three particular things from which it needs to decide which one is better. And let's see what it has done. So there's criteria, cost, reach, potential ROI, and here are all the things. So social media marketing, email campaigns, influencer partnerships, and cost is low to medium for social media marketing. Email campaigns is low, so it's not low to medium. And influencer partnerships, that's of course high. Reach is high for social media marketing. Email campaigns is medium, limited to existing subscribers list, which is also like, difficult to gain. Influencer partnerships, the reach can be medium to high, depends on the influencer's follower base. All right. And potential ROI. Let's see which one is the best. So medium to high for social media marketing, scalable ads, measurable conversions, works well with retargeting. All right. Email campaigns is again medium. You have to create a subscriber list. Strong ROI for nurturing leads, upselling and retention, but limited new audience growth, as I said. And influencer partnerships, of course, it is high because there are authentic endorsements which can drive significant conversions and trust. Of course, these social media, people, these influencers, they have a really loyal fan base. So yes, you can drive real good conversion and you can build a very nice audience for yourselves. It is still less predictable, but again, the ROIs is certainly high. So yes, this is what I could go with. And let's see. So social media marketing, best for broad awareness, flexible budgeting and retargeting potential. Email campaigns are cost effective, strong for conversion and customer retention, but the reach is limited, of course. And influencer partnerships, it is expensive, but it is high impact in creating trust and brand credibility within the fitness niche. All right. If the launch budget is tight, start with social media plus email campaigns. So yes, it is of course suggesting me that I can mix and match as well. If the goal is maximum brand trust and aspirational position without considering the money, then add influencers. And it can also quantify this with weighted scoring. Of course, I can ask it to do that. But, we have got the answer that yes, this is how a decision matrix works. So yeah, that's really nice. Now let's see our next kind of framework, which is reverse prompt engineering. And this approach involves analyzing a finished output to figure out which prompt generated it. So when you have got a really nice output from something, you can just ask ChatGPT that, okay, this is nice. Here is the product launch plan for a smart home workout equipment, so which I got in the output. Reverse engineer it to come up with the most likely prompt to have created this plan. And it works really well when you have already got a really great output. Now, all of our answers were really great outputs, as I would say. But yes, if I am confused, if I'm not getting really nice answers, but then I suddenly get a really nice answer and I want to know which prompt could have led to that answer at first, I can just ask ChatGPT that reverse engineer this particular thing and tell me which prompt is likely to have created this plan. This allows ChatGPT to work backward from a successful product launch plan, understanding the key elements of the prompt that led to the output. Yes, this is a really nice framework and you could use it for yourself. When you get a really nice output from ChatGPT, you can just ask ChatGPT what kind of prompt or input could have led to this output, and it will create that prompt for you. So yes, this is another framework, or I would like to call it a concept, which is really nice and important when moving forward. So now we have seen a lot of prompting frameworks. We have seen reverse prompt engineering. We have seen self-critique prompting. We have also seen tree of thought reasoning and chain of thought reasoning. And we have also seen reusable and modular prompts, all of that. But what is the best prompt framework which I should use? That might be your question. So you know what? Let's see what are the best prompting frameworks which you should use. And the answer is pretty simple, that there is no one particular framework. You can mix and match all of them, or you could use one particular framework for one particular problem. And let's see how we can do that. So here I am at choosing a framework. And you know what? Let's make this a task. All right. So think of a task in your mind. Like if you want to build a pitch, if you want to plan a content, or if you want to make a tough decision. This is completely in your hand or your mind. Just think of something that you want ChatGPT to do right now and think of it and then decide which framework fits the best. All right. Match it with the framework. So prompt chaining works best when you are building something in steps. All right. So prompt chaining, first give it an input, whatever output you get, then you give another input to build on it. Chain of thought is perfect for logical decisions, and tree of thought reasoning helps when you want to explore creative directions. All right. So yes, these are all the methods that you could use. We have some more that you could choose from. So if you're not sure what AI needs from you, use ask before answering. When you want to refine a rough draft, go with self-critique prompting. If you need help in comparing options, then a decision matrix gives you a clear side-by-side view. And obviously, pick the one that feels right for you. And I want you to actually try it right now. Think of a plan and try to decide which framework is working the best for you, and try multiple frameworks. Just open a new chart. If one framework is not working, then try another one. Pick the one that feels right, and you don't need to use them all at once, even though it is a very nice practice to use them together. And there's one more thing that you need to know, that just because you started with one framework doesn't mean that you have to stick with it. All right. Try to remix your task with different frameworks or stack them for extra power. And I'll give you an example for this as well. So imagine you started brainstorming with a tree of thought reasoning, and then later you can build on the best idea using the prompt chaining framework as well. And when a prompt works really well, save it. All right. Start building your own library of high performing prompts that you can reuse, remix, or you can just hand off to your team or your friends. And having these ready means you are never starting from scratch again. So yes, try all these frameworks, see what works best for you. And if something gets you a really good output, save it. It's going to be really helpful. And I really hope that you are not starting to get overwhelmed by all of this, theoretical part, these long lectures, because don't worry, we are just getting started. Everything that we have seen now, I have already said it, but everything we have seen now, we will see in much more depth in the later sections. We are going to implement all of these things in real world use cases. So yes, don't get overwhelmed. We are just getting started. These are just building blocks. And this is pretty much it for this section. And I'm going to see you in the next one. Till then, bye.